And welcome to our viewers in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and around the world. We are excited to bring you to this National Ringette League hub in Leduc, just south of Edmonton, hosted by the Edmonton Wham. We have had 6 of the 7 Western Conference National Ringette League teams here this weekend, some playing only 2 games and some playing 4 games. This is game 8 of 9 for this tournament hub weekend, and we are going to see BC Thunder in navy blue playing against the Rocky Mountain Rage. We'll be wearing white. Rocky Mountain Rage is a brand new team this year and playing against a team from BC with a lot of experience on their side. So it should be an exciting matchup. This Rocky Mountain Rage team is young and fast, but not a lot of NRL experience. Only 3 players with any playing experience in the NRL, whereas we've got players here. The spotlight for the BC Thunder is going to be on Marissa Dick. She recently competed for the junior national team at the World Championships in Finland. We're going to keep an eye on her. She's number 22 for BC Thunder. Originally from Calgary, but playing in BC now for a couple of years. You can see Rocky Mountain Rage has just come on the ice wearing their white jerseys, and the player we are going to watch is number 21, Talisa Cowley. She also just came back from playing U21, the junior national team at Worlds.
Yeah, it's funny that you've said this BC team has a lot of experience, and they do, but not that long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, they would have been kind of the new kids on the block and building up their team, and that's how it happens. And if you build a good program, then you attract some of the seasoned veterans, and then you build up the players that you have. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the the Rocky Mountain Rage. A lot of Zone 2 AA products. They won the CRCs last year at the U19 AA division, and also quite a few players from the Calgary AA program who have also had a lot of success. So they have a lot of talent, and they have familiarity with one another. So you do still see a good team game from them, even though they are a young team. So it'll be nice to see the matchup.
Yeah, and if you hear either of us refer to them as Zone 2, it is because they're associated with them. They wear similar colors, and it's a lot of those players. So Zone 2 refers to a region around Calgary, sort of the extended area. And that's what we're used to seeing. While we are waiting for these teams to finish their warm-up, we're going to have a quick video for you to watch from what Ringette looked like in 1979.
Ringette is a Canadian game designed exclusively for girls. Basically, it is played on ice with a ring and a bladeless stick. It was invented in Ontario in the mid-1960s and ever since has been soaring in popularity. Today, there are between 50 and 60,000 girls in Canada who play Ringette, and 350 of those gathered here in Winnipeg for the first ever Canadian Championships. 16-year-old Lisa Lowe has been playing Ringette for 9 years. She is a center for a team from Ajax, Ontario. Tell me how you got started in Ringette 9 years ago.
When I had to go undercover, I was supposed to say I was 8 years old, but I really wasn't, so that's how I started. And
Lisa finished this game with 1 goal and 1 assist. In the second period, Ontario outscored Manitoba 5-3 to win 8-6.
Well, I hope it goes in the history books. I'll probably remember it for the rest of my life. I'll probably tell it to my grandchildren.
So you just got a good look at how much Ringette has changed. I still can't get over the fact that they have those little knee pads on, but no shin pads. I can't imagine.
Yeah, not a lot of padding going on there.
Yeah.
Even I was looking at their sticks, and when she was taking that shot, thinking like, what was the technology like then compared to the sticks that these players are using now?
Absolutely. So, those solid wood sticks that were essentially just a block of wood, or actually I think they were cut off hockey sticks. but not as good for what these players are doing now. These players have, most of them I think have composite sticks that are hollow and have a good amount of flex in them. And they've got special tips that are actually designed for ringette to grip the ring. So the National Ringette League is across the country. There's 7 teams in the Western Conference and 7 teams in the Eastern Conference. Due to the travel, they don't have interlocking schedules. So they play these hub weekends where teams play a bunch of games against each other. So if you are hooked now after this weekend, there's going to be 2 more hubs coming up after the holidays. We'll be back on January 10th and 11th from Burlington, Ontario, and then January 17th and 18th from Winnipeg. So that Manitoba team is not at this hub. They're the only Western Conference team that's not here this weekend. So some of these teams playing 2 games, some playing 4 in this hub weekend, but this is how they get a bunch of games out of the way without having to travel, as these players all pay to play. So there's no budget for traveling on a Thursday night to fly back the next day. These players have school, they have jobs. This is not a primary activity. This warm-up's almost done. We're going to see some team cheers at both ends. I think both of these teams do their team cheer. BC does their team cheer around the net, so they have that what you might call a huddle, a couple last words, and that's obviously run by their athletes. Their coaches aren't over there, and I think Rocky Mountain Rage is going to do something similar around the bench. So this is the final game of this hub for both of these teams. They played 2 games yesterday. BC had a win over Edmonton Rush, and then that shootout loss to Edmonton Wham. And Rage lost to Edmonton Wham. And had a close game, I believe, against Calgary Wrath. So it looks like starting goaltenders here. We have Sarah McDonald in net for the BC Thunder. And we have Paige Roy in net for Rocky Mountain Rage. And the game has started. So Leah Wagner had the ring in the neutral zone. Passes down to Lily Sauer, who keeps control for Rocky Mountain Rage. Tried to get a shot off, and it's blocked by the defender, Gillespie. And a centering pass, and Oda Florian was on top of the ring, so it is a BC ring. So McDonald's going to have that goalie ring there, makes a good fake and finds Gustafson for that return pass. Parody gets it on the boards, looking for Hannison deep in the corner. The ring takes some funny hops here off the boards, so those hard boards passes are a little risky. Hannison across, and it's just behind Simser, who almost made a great pickup. 5 seconds on that shot clock. Simser's going to try to get the reset and does. But it's pushed into the crease, and Roy's going to have it now for a breakout.
One thing to watch from Simser is she has a big shot. I think you'll see her use that more than once today. And really physically strong. You'll see her box out well off of the ring.
Rogers Horn did a good job getting the ring into the offensive zone and then dishing off to a forward. So BC taking a bit of time getting a line change. It was a good shot from Takasaki, and Roy with the save. Looking for that dish out, and Dylan Pegan comes with the ring now for Rage. Finds Galandi in the neutral zone. Galandi does a good job to poke that ring forward, but just out of reach of a teammate. Now we're going to see Izzy Beach come out into the neutral zone. Izzy Beach, another player who was just at the junior national, on the junior national team that was in Finland. And here's our player to watch. Talisa Cowley comes up with the ring in the neutral zone. Fires in a lead pass for Dylan Pegan, who is checked by Ewan. And McDonald does a good job moving the ring to the corner, but it is picked up by Rage.
Both of these teams really hard-working teams. Like they will work.
And a good shot there by Galandi as she's falling down. A couple of good drop passes in the high in the zone for Rage, and they're able to convert on that at 10:48 of the first quarter. So we're going to see that. That was the third drop pass. She comes around there, gets around Rogers, Horn, and Crow, and then a great shot to the far corner low. It's a tough save for a goalie to make. So BC Thunder in navy blue and Rocky Mountain Rage in white. And it's Marissa Dick with the ring in the neutral zone over to Grace Kemp. Kemp is able to find Bouchard just over the blue line. Bouchard is a player with a lot of international experience. Good reach, strong shot. Missed the net there from Chorney or Williams. Williams can't get the ring on net. You saw Paige Roy purposely not play that ring so that it would be a violation. Roy gets the ring out quickly to Downhauer. Downhauer to Dick. Picked off by Marissa Dick. We have Chorney over the line, did get a touch, and so Kemp is able to pick it up again. Kemp coming in, leaves the ring for Hannison. Hannison waiting for that line change. We've talked about this a lot throughout this hub, but these NRL teams are really good at making sure they do safe line changes, which is in the offensive zone. Paige Roy with a good pickup there, trying to find Donauer.
So
Good
BC Thunder is doing a man-on coverage off of the goalie ring, which is making it a little tough for Roy to find those open players that she's looking for. So when that man-on coverage from the goalie ring is done well, it can be tough.
Klimke over the line here with only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Cowley tries to whip a shot, and it is blocked by Gustafson, who picks up the ring. And that is going to be a penalty on Cowley for a body. Sorry, penalty on Galandi.
Yeah. Well, it's going down to the other end. BC will have an offensive free pass.
Yeah, so I think Galandi maybe just got her body not quite in the right position there and put a little too much pressure on. So Izzy Beach is going to take that pass, fake a shot, and find Takasaki. We have Sydney Crow there in the slot. Probably looking, Takasaki driving around the top, and a good stick there by Clappy. Good play there by Clappy to keep Ewan on the boards. And Beach gets a shot in on Roy. And maybe a bit of a lucky 5-second count as Roy threw it into traffic, into 2-on coverage.
Yeah, the goalies, they hate to hold the ring, and sometimes it's just the right play because there's nothing there.
Yeah, so it's a good opportunity to get a line change if they need it. Or, yeah, if the players are tired, they'll tell their goalie to hold it. But it's definitely, teams would always rather get the ring out of their zone, but it's not worth the turnover. Chorney coming around the top here. Almost takes out her own player. Finds Williams. Williams coming across. Leaves it for Bouchard. Chorney setting up a pick. Bouchard doesn't use it, and a good hard shot from Bouchard handled by Roy.
Bouchard really likes to shoot from that exact spot, so and she likes to shoot it on the ice, which can take goalies by surprise now and then.
So Bouchard did play that on the other side of the blue line, and you might argue that it's a better play to play that ring and take the whistle rather than let the other team get a break, but it worked out okay. Bouchard in the neutral zone to Chorney. Chorney with a big shot handled by Roy. Rebound to the corner, picked up by Maya Alphen. BC is going to control it. Chorney's going to leave it there for Hannison and get a line change. Parody out there. And Kira Hodge coming in off the bench. Hannison taking some time looking for Parody low in the zone. Parody seeing what's going on, coming across the top, and a good shot across the body that Roy just gets a piece of.
Those cross-seam shots, when a player is able to release it, that's a really dangerous opportunity. It's hard for the goalie to track it back.
Yep.
So well done by Roy.
And we had a good play there and another good drive through by BC, and Roy made a good save. Now there's a battle for it in the neutral zone. Madison Fitzpatrick finds it and passes it back to Roy. Going to find Pegan, and you can see the shot clock is running out here for Rage, and they knew it, but they still couldn't. Oh, they did get a reset. Maybe there was a missed reset earlier. Dylan Pegan is going to come in against the triangle. That looks like it's Hannison at the top of the triangle there, finding Galandi down low. Galandi is tripped up, so that's going to be a penalty against.
You see one JNT teammate giving another JNT teammate a little bit of a tap there after the penalty.
Yeah, so that was the penalty is to Casey Hannison. We're just checking in on the penalty here, and we're making sure that the shot clock is operating properly. So there is a penalty to BC on that play. Casey Hannison's in the box for 2 minutes or less. And Cassie Valencourt with the ring. Passes off to Taylor Clappy. Across the ice to Lily Sauer. And a good little spin move by Valencourt, but she was in the crease, so McDonald has the ring now. Gets it to Robin Gillespie. Robin likes to do a give and go. She has a lot of speed, especially once she gets going, and so she can be a dangerous threat on the quick break. Doesn't connect there, but Gustafson has it, and into the zone there for Takasaki, who finds Sydney Crow. They're down to 7 seconds, 6 on the shot clock, so Crow's going to look for an opening. Does get one, a good shot for a reset, but Donhauer is there. Donhauer finds Talisa Cowley. Cowley looking up there for Pegan, and Dylan Pegan is going to try to use her size and strength to her advantage.
I like that choice from Cowley, sort of looking for the possession pass over the second line instead of sort of that middle, opportunity where it might have been a turnover.
Yeah, and a lot of Ringette players, they want to go for that breakaway pass, but if it's behind them, then they're going in the wrong direction, and it's hard to recover from that. Whereas if you put it into the corner, it's maybe not an instant scoring opportunity, but it is keeping possession.
Yeah.
And a good lead pass here up for Bouchard. And Leah Wagner was just able to disrupt it enough. Kennedy Rice, Kate Rogers-Horn makes a good support pass across there to Ewan. And they're going to go for a line change. Danny Bouchard is going to control the ring in the offensive zone. Emma Parody is also there. Again, BC killing this penalty, so they only have those two offensive players in there. The Grace Kemp, who's also in there, is actually a defender. So you see Grace came out of the zone pretty quickly there to mark up. And into the neutral zone there, Marissa Dick did a really good job getting right on Kristen Oda-Florian, and it's going to be BC ring in the neutral zone.
Bronwyn and I are both defense from back in the day, and I'd say it's changed in the NRL today. I don't want to speak for Bronwyn, but in terms of the level of offensive ability of a lot of the defenders now, they really can move into the offensive zone a lot, almost interchangeably. That wasn't the case for me as a player, but it's nice to see, and it creates the opportunity for some really dynamic offensive attack.
Yeah, for our young athletes viewing, or our coaches, it's so important to get time in at different positions, because you never know when it's needed in Ringette with these three in the zone. You always need somebody to help out. BC here looking for a reset, doesn't quite manage it, so it's going to be a goalie ring for Rage. And Roy finds Madison Fitzpatrick coming around the net. Oda Florian with a good stop and start to win that ring, but can't quite keep it. Sims are into Kemp. Kemp is going to take it easy and leave it for Takasaki. So you will still see some of these defense who get the ring over the zone, and they do what we call the defense drop, where you give it to a forward. Okay, Taylor Clappy has it, looking for Pegan again down the boards. Pegan is going to beat Gillespie to the ring, and Gillespie holding on for dear life, does a good job. Does a good job keeping Pegan out from in front without taking a penalty. Gets it across to Beach, support pass. Looking for Chorney. Chorney was turned around, but Chorney is a canny veteran of the National Ringette League and was able to figure out where to put that ring. And Chorney is up with it again. Comes in, takes a big shot. Mrs. Beach is able to get the ring on net for a reset there.
Chorney has a very go, go, go style of play for Ringette. Like there's not a lot of quit in her. And she's got excellent speed. She's fun to watch.
She is, yep. Izzy Beach checked by Donauer. And the ring is retrieved by Talisa Cowley, who's going to then find that give and go with Donauer. And over to Galandi.
Beautiful pass from Galandi.
Beautiful pass across from Galandi to Sauer, who just can't quite get the handle on it. Sauer's looking for the shot, but I think wisely in that situation didn't force it. 10 seconds on that shot clock, and a good hard shot from Sauer, handled by McDonald. McDonald is just back from a stint with the senior national team, where she played absolutely lights out against an extremely strong Finnish national team. And a good call by Ewan coming in to support across the line.
Yeah, McDonald's a great goalie. She's the type of goalie who can change the outcome of a game. She was the NRL's goaltender of the year in the NRL awards last year. So,
yeah, very, very solid. She is tough to beat. And we have a ring free pass for BC in their offensive zone. Seeing full line changes here. You see all the taps they give the goalies every time they come on. Goalies can feel a little isolated in there, so it's good to know that their teammates are thinking about them, have their backs. Bouchard across the top to Chorney. That looked like a set play to get the defense moving as Williams came from behind the net. Can't quite handle it, so Williams leaves it for Chorney. Chorney's going to leave it for Bouchard. Looking for that pass back to Chorney, but the triangle doing a good job. And another good quick pass. This line is really got some good chemistry here, and they're really moving the ring. Chorney and Bouchard are both from Alberta and have played previously together for the Rush for many years, Edmonton Rush. So them playing on a line together here makes a lot of sense, as they are very familiar with each other. And they're able to make a steal here, but Chorney went through the crease, so it's back to Roy for a goalie ring.
They get a do-over.
Alphen trying to win that battle against Williams. Comes out with it, but good pursuit by BC to get the ring. That very bouncy ring. And Tessa Galandi has it and makes a nice circle back to save some space and some time. And a good support pass across to Alphen. And again, these give and goes. And a good play by Tessa Galandi. And BC just whips it out. A bit of a giveaway there. Klimke gets it back for Klimke, pardon me.
Galandi just seems to have a really good sense of where the space is on the ice, both in terms of skating lanes and passing lanes, and it's what makes her so impactful as a Ringette player.
Yeah, Valencourt to Clappy. Oh. We were so engrossed in the play, we didn't realize how little time was left. So we are at the end of the first quarter, and it is 1-0 in favor of Rocky Mountain Rage. The shots on goal do favor BC, 11-7, but it's been a really tight checking game.
So if you are looking for a gift, the perfect gift for a young Ringette player, check out the Ringette store, the National Ringette League store at ringette.ca. Great for something under the tree or a stocking stuffer.
We're going to see this great effort from Galandi, shooting from her knees, getting around those defenders. We're going to see some good plays, good saves here. Roy's been very solid in net there. Former member of the junior national team herself.
Yeah, we actually have 3 of the goalies here have, actually 4 of them have national team experience. Roy on the junior national team, Ava Lott just this past cycle on the national team from Rage.
Yeah, and Heska and McDonald have both had stints on the national team.
That's right.
So you're looking at head coach for BC Thunder, Troy Takasaki. Not sure if we're going to get a visual here, but the head coach for, there we go, there's Chris Kelly on the bench there for Rocky Mountain Rage, head coach. We'd also like to give a little bit of a shout out to an upcoming University Challenge Cup taking place in Guelph, starting just after Christmas in December 27th. So university teams from across the country will be gathering there. And we're off in the second quarter. So the second of 4 13-minute quarters played by these teams. There will be a flood at halftime. So after this quarter, we have Rocky Mountain Rage in white. And a good quick play over to Beach and a great save there by Roy.
And there was a pick at the top there.
A pick by Simser that worked beautifully. And Sauer with a support pass. Donauer coming up out of the zone. Finds Clappy in the neutral zone just off a stick. But because it touched another player, Donauer was able to pick it up again. Can't play it to themselves over the blue line. It has to touch another player, but they don't have to control it. It doesn't have to be on their stick. It just has to touch them. Oh, and we are going to have a penalty to BC here for playing the ring over the line. So Hannison was standing right on that ringette line, and I think accidentally, I think her stick was actually sticking over. She didn't look like she was actively checking, but she did interfere with the play and cause the player to lose the ring.
It looks like it almost may have been her skate that they...
Oh, and that we just saw the shot there at the end that almost squeezes through. So because Hannison impacted the play in the offensive zone, that is why that's a penalty. Sometimes if a player just skates over a little bit, it will be a violation and a 5-second count. But because she impacted the play and caused that player to lose the ring, that's why it was a penalty. Dylan Pegan had a great shot there and well handled by McDonald. And Galandi here coming out of the zone, trying to create a bit of a speed advantage. Goes around in a great play. I mean, I think Pegan and Galandi have been playing together for quite a while. They are rookies in the NRL, but they played, I think, the last 3 or 4 years for Zone 2. And Bouchard just managed to wait for that one to come across the line. Is going to find Gustafson across the blue line. Gustafson is going to go for a bit of a skate. They are killing a penalty. Finds Parody in front of the net.
So that looks like it's going to be a penalty to Zone 2. I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. Yeah. It was sort of a pileup.
I think Leah Wagner is getting that one. So they're going to set up again with their 4 players in the zone. So normally it's a 3-on-3 below that ringette line, but when there's a delayed penalty, and Chorney there does a good job to get that reset. So they've got another full 30 seconds. So they get to play this 3-on-2, or this 4-on-3, pardon me, until the whistle goes for that penalty. So Chorney's got it, and a good step at the top of the triangle there. And we're going to get a body penalty against Leah Wagner. That's a tough one there. I think there's a lot of players moving towards the ring, and just making sure you're not taking up space that was someone else's. But again, the game happens very quickly. So we have a 4-on-4 for 22 seconds until BC's penalty comes out. So Rogers Horn cycling around, but Bouchard has the ring. Back over to Rogers Horn at the top there. It's picked up by Lily Sauer, who tries to find Cassie Valencourt. A good pickup by Danica Ewan. Fitzpatrick coming up over the line to Maya Alphen. Valencourt wasn't able to get it, so Rogers Horn is back up the ice to Chorney. Chorney up there to Hannison, who's just out of the box. And a great move, a great save by Roy. It was in the crease, so it wouldn't have been a goal if it had gone in, but that's still a great save from Paige Roy. Taylor Clappy coming up, drops it to Madison Fitzpatrick. Over to Maya Alphen. Oh, and a risky play there to Fitzpatrick, who does come up with the ring. Up to Clappy again. Oda Florian, if she can get a step here, can win that play. And a good job by Grace Kemp getting back. A good support pass over. That's Takasaki with the ring. Finding Marissa Dick on the far side and back to Takasaki. Keep coming back to this, but there's so many give and goes.
Oh, what a save.
That was an incredible save by Paige Roy. A great move by Haley Takasaki, who took a bit of a bump there. And that was a both sides call on the blue line against BC, who did deflect it. Let's have a look at this replay for this save. So Takasaki makes a great move coming across and is bumped there, but Paige Roy just gets the stick out on it.
Starting to see both teams, I think, find their transition game a little bit more flow, a little bit more execution over both blue lines.
Leah Wagner.
Maybe a miscue there.
So I lied before. It is Kennedy Rice is serving that penalty, which makes a little more sense. Came in from the other side. Wagner ended up on the bottom of the pile there for the penalty. So Rice will be out in 10 seconds. Gustafson for BC, circling around in the offensive zone. They've got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Parody gets a shot on net, handled by Paige Roy. Roy looking for that pass, finds Leah Wagner. It is picked up in the neutral zone by Parody, who makes a nice back pass over the blue line to Hannison, who's driving in. Hannison slowed down by Alphen. Paige Roy did fall, but was able to recover. There was a crease violation, a delayed crease violation against Rocky Mountain Rage, so it will be a BC ring. So anytime you see that referee with one arm sort of half crooked in an L shape and counting, that means there's a violation against the team that doesn't currently have the ring. And as soon as as soon as that 5 seconds is up, it's fair game. But if the team, the other team plays that ring in that 5 seconds, it will be a violation and the ring will go back to the other team. So you can see that 5-second count happening right now because the player from Rocky Mountain Rage went into that free pass circle before the ring left. But it's over now. Williams coming around the side, working with Bouchard and Chorney. That trio has been together for, I think, most of these games. A good fight in the corner by Fitzpatrick, but Chorney is able to come up with it. Not much time left on the shot clock. Gets a shot off. Another amazing save. Paige Roy is really locked in here.
Yeah, and great job by the defense boxing out to sort of protect the front of the net and get the ring in front of them so that they can take it and find a skating lane out.
Lily Sauer does a good job shaking her check. Valencourt up with it. Pass it over the blue line. It was just a bit behind Oda Florian, so they had to wait for it, and then we're in this danger zone right along the boards in the blue line. Rogers Horn comes out with it for BC. Does a good job waiting for Danica Ewan to come across the blue line. Ewan's going to take some time, set up. Finds Chorney. Chorney's going to leave it for Crow. BC making a line change here. Simser's out in front of the net. Oh, that would have been a great play if Simser could have connected. Another great save there from Roy as that shot came across the shooter's body. So again, that's a hard save for a goalie to make. And BC going with a bit of a zone play right now. So Galandi with a good dive for that. Galandi keeps the ring again around. She's so shifty. What a finish.
That's just a beautiful goal. And it started with that, no quit on the play in the neutral zone.
So, and he just absolutely freezes the defender there and then rifles that shot top corner to beat a very good goaltender. So it's 2-0 right now for Rocky Mountain Rage. Gustafson to Gillespie in the neutral zone. Gillespie looking for Hannison in the middle. Doesn't quite get it, but does pick it up in the corner. Pressured by Fitzpatrick, but Hannison comes out with the ring. About 10 seconds on that shot clock. Looking for Kira Hodge down low. It is picked off by Maya Alphen. Alphen also just back from a stint with the junior national team. Finding Oda Florian in the neutral zone over to Clappy. Alphen is able to back up that play and pick it up. Looking for an outlet there and is going to find Clappy. Clappy whips it on net, but it's right at McDonald who handles that and is able to find Gustafson on the breakout. Gustafson was looking for Gillespie for that support pass. Wasn't able to get rid of it. Sauer picks it up and has a good quick pass over to Kennedy Rice. But Kennedy Rice is checked. So BC coming out with it. It's Parody to Bouchard. Bouchard back to Parody. Parody didn't get it. Leah Wagner has it, but is checked by Parody. So Parody has it back again in the offensive zone. Leaves it for Molly Chorney. Chorney waiting for a teammate to come on and is going to find Williams. Williams walks around a defense, but there is going to be a penalty to Kennedy Rice for tripping. Just those quick feet can lead to penalties. So we have 4:52 left in the second quarter, and it is a 2-0 lead right now for Rocky Mountain Rage. I think maybe we're seeing the youthful legs from Rage coming through.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely seem to have found their stride a little bit in this game. They play like they trust each other. They don't hesitate to make those quick passes and use their support.
Chorney down low battling with Simser and Bouchard. This is another one of those immovable rings. BC previously had possession of the ring, so because they failed to get the ring moving, they lose it. Paige Roy now with the ring, looking for that quick break, finds Donauer. Klimke with a good quick move over the line there to win it, but it is ultimately recovered by Parody, who gets the ring in, or sorry, that was Danica Ewan, into Chorney. Molly Chorney goes for a skate, is going to leave it for Takasaki. Takasaki's out there with Beach and Crow. Crow now with the ring, coming in with a lot of speed. 10 seconds on that shot clock. You hear the goalies stick at the other end of the ice, letting them know. Oh.
Well, that's a no goal. She was in the crease.
That was a great play, though, a great drive to the net, and just that last move put her in the crease, so it's no goal. Galandi has it, but is stripped of the ring. That was Kemp had it with a great back pass across to Beach. Beach over to Crow. Couldn't quite handle it, but keeps possession. Crow feeding it through the middle, looking for Takasaki, and it didn't connect. Beach picks up the ring in the corner, looking to come across the top. Looks for a shot. Beach with a quick shot. Holy goodness. That quick release is sometimes more effective even than a big shot.
Yeah. It almost looks like BC right now is shooting for rebounds and having somebody in front of the net and looking to see what pops out. So well done.
Yeah, and it's a tough play for a goaltender when there's a scramble in front of the net and you're just trying to follow the play, and then that Beach came kind of out of nowhere as the ring was in Takasaki's feet and just made a good quick shot. So it's now 2-1. Rocky Mountain Rage with 2 and BC Thunder with 1. Madison Fitzpatrick jumping up into the offensive zone to pick that up. Lily Sauer is going to get it now. Sauer's coming across. A nice back pass, but it is picked off, and a good defensive play by Keandra Gustafson. Over to Kira Hodge. Hodge to Parody, who picks up a tough pass. That's why these teams practice so much, is they have to catch all these hard passes right on their sticks. Hannison with a good one-timer, and Paige Roy is right there.
Yeah, really challenging well up high in her crease so that she was not giving her a lot of space to shoot. The ring is bouncing. It is that annoying ring there that bounces. Valencourt tried to win it, but Gustafson got it into the zone. And Parody is going to slow things down as they wait for a line change.
Bouchard comes on out there with regular line mate Chorney. Looking to whip that shot, but misses high and wide. There's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Williams breaks in and makes a really great move. Checked at the last second, and the ring did hit the post. The ring comes out to Alton. Alton finds Klimke up the boards. Klimke makes a good support pass back to Pegan. Pegan looking for Galandi deep in the zone, but couldn't quite handle it. McDonald steers it wide for Bouchard to pick up. Bouchard under pressure, passes it across to Rogers Horn, who couldn't handle it. And again, that ring is just bouncing everywhere. I think the players will be looking forward to the fresh ice in the second half. Danny Bouchard makes that tricky little back pass to Rogers Horn. Rogers Horn looking for Ewan over the blue line, and it's intercepted by Leah Wagner. But BC recovers the ring. It's Molly Chorney coming across the top, looking for a shot across the body. Not sure if that hit the post or if Roy made a save, but they did get the reset. Kennedy Rice looking to get the ring over the line is checked by Chorney. Kemp up with the ring and does a good job to get it loose from that scrum, and Sydney Crow picks it up and comes from behind the net. There's 10 seconds on the shot clock. We're just over a minute left in the second quarter. Oh, that was a tricky play there. Taylor Clappy coming over, had 2 on and passes the ring. It gets away, and Crow picks up the ring for BC in the neutral zone. We've got 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Izzy Beach is coming over and had a good shot. Sydney Crow coming again up against Sauer on the top of the triangle. 10 seconds left on that shot clock. Takasaki trying to get an advantage there, does get the shot away, but Roy with the save. Leah Wagner makes a good pass to Clappy. Clappy tried to sell it, but unfortunately it was just too close to the blue line, and it's a both sides violation, a blue line violation against Rocky Mountain Rage. Offensive zone free pass for BC Thunder with 19.4 seconds left in the second quarter. I think Simser is just waiting for Hodge to get into position, and then they're going to run a play. Hodge does get it, tries to cut it across to Hannison. Hannison with gets a good shot off, and that was a really great save by Paige Roy. This period is going to come to a close now. So a very exciting first half. And the score going into halftime is Rocky Mountain Rage 2 and BC Thunder 1. We're going to see a couple replays from some of the highlights of this period, the first and second quarter. Galandi has been absolutely all over the place in this game. It's been incredible. She's a very dynamic player. Lots of good saves. Kennedy Rice almost squeaked one in there past Sarah McDonald. And this breakaway pass for Hannison that was in the crease, but Roy still made an incredible save. Takasaki driving to the net. And that was just beautiful by Paige Roy. Still seeing some.
Yes. Okay.
And we're going to throw it down to ice level where Alexis is with BC Thunder player Marissa Dick.
Hi there, I'm here with
Marissa Dick. Wanted to have a little chat with you to see how you feel the game is going so far.
It's definitely an aggressive game. It's very fast-paced. They're a great team. So, yeah, the pressure's been on for sure.
Was there anything specifically that you talked about as a team to prepare for the matchup against Rage?
Just strong team defense, as always. That's always our game plan going into it. And then just good offensive movement to try and open up their triangle.
Amazing. And just in terms of this hub, was there anything you guys did as a team to get ready for this sort of gameplay at this point in the season?
Yeah, so we do training camps before every hub, so we really dial in on our systems the weekend beforehand. And yeah, so we practice lots of different systems coming into it.
Well, it's a really exciting game so far, and we're looking forward to the second half.
Awesome, you too. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Alexis, and thanks, Marissa, for the interview. And we're going to take a little commercial break right now. We'll be with you soon.
They're just superhumans, and they come from a humble background.
Seeing my sisters make big teams, it made me realize even though we're from this little province, you can make your dreams come true if you work hard.
They just love the game so much.
8 seconds remaining. Snowden with a shot.
This past season, the two of them scored 97 and 96 points each. That's in 24 games.
My earliest memory of Ringette is my dad making an outdoor rink in the backyard.
Our older sisters did not go easy on us. There was no mercy in our family.
She knows what I'm capable of. I know what she's capable of.
So they've always been really close. Moncton sisters ready to take on Ringette World.
All right, in.
This is the game we came here to play, guys. They said that if she got another concussion, she'd never be able to play Ringette again. Oh, nice break.
I'm always scared that they don't get hurt.
When we first started the Atlantic Attack, we were at the bottom of the barrel. Now we can actually compete.
People sacrifice a lot for the sport.
I am just realizing now everything that they had to go through in order for us to just play a simple game. I love you!
It's always been about togetherness.
You said it once and you said it before, them Snowdens are not too bad Ringette players.
All very, very good players. All spend a lot of time at the rink. I know that these younger girls have spent a lot of time watching their older sisters play, and it's fun to watch them in a very nice family.
We're back with you, welcoming you to Leduc if you're still watching during this intermission. Thank you for tuning in on whether you're with the All Women's Sports Network or Ringette Canada's YouTube or CBC Sports. I think we're going to see some replays right now, some of the great plays that have happened already in the game. Welcome back to Leduc, to our viewers from around the country, around the world. We're excited to bring you this National Ringette League game between the Rocky Mountain Rage, who are leading 2-1 against the BC Thunder at halftime. We are excited to have you, whether you're watching on the AWSN, All Women's Sports Network, or it's through CBC Sports. It's been a very busy game. The BC is losing, but the scoreboard is to be believed. They are out-shooting Rocky Mountain Rage 25-12. So Paige Roy, the goaltender for Rocky Mountain Rage, has really been standing on her head right now. We're just going to have a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with more Ringette. Welcome back to Leduc in this National Ringette League hub. We are halftime through this game between the Rocky Mountain Rage and BC Thunder. And I think that we are going to have a look at a video from Ringette in 1985.
When Sports Weekend asked me to come and cover Ringette, I had the same question everybody else had. What is Ringette?
I don't know. Do you know what Ringette is?
I really don't know.
I guess something to do with a ball. I don't know. Hey, what do you think? Girls play it?
It's girls hockey. That's what it is.
Isn't it?
But the process of moving the ring down the ice is what makes the game of Ringette different. You know, in hockey, they have an offside where a player cannot cross the blue line before the puck. Well, in Ringette, that's out. No player in Ringette may carry the puck across any line. One of the more interesting stories at these championships is about number 2, 17-year-old Brita Lind of Saskatchewan. Through the skills obtained in Ringette, she is looking at a possible scholarship to university.
Well, I have a chance to go to Harvard, to play hockey. The coach phoned me, said that I went first on his recruitment list. And as soon as they heard Canadian and that I once played hockey, they just think that, Wayne Gretzky or something.
One of the big problems in Ringette, we've talked to some of the officials, they'd like to speed up the game. And in order to do that, they may have to go to a shot clock. And we asked Marnie Gutfredson how much this would affect Manitoba's game.
Generally, it will affect the game of Ringette. It'll make it a much faster game. It'll change Manitoba's style, because I know our style does deal with a lot of ring ragging. I think it would be better generally for the game of Ringette. It would speed the game up, and we would just have to learn how to change our style.
Here we see Betty Shields, president of Ringette Canada, present the Jean Sauvé Cup to the Manitoba champions, the girls from Winnipeg. And as we said, 4 times out of 5 years is not bad in any sport. Right back at it in the fall, all winding up with their national championships next year in Regina, Saskatchewan. So from Dollard Des Ormeaux, back to Sports Weekend Control in Toronto.
So hopefully if you were watching that video, you can see, and you've been watching some of the games this weekend, you'll see some of the stark differences. I thought it was really funny that they referred to them as wanting to, in 1985, speed up the game with the shot clock. When we didn't actually, in Canada anyway. I think International Ringette had a shot clock before we had it for regular gameplay in Canada. But I don't think that shot clock came into effect in Canada until late 90s.
Oh, I think maybe even a little bit after that, because I do remember competing at the World Ringette Championships in 2000, and the final game was a tie, and if Finland won, or if Finland tied the game, they would win the World Championships. And there was no shot clock at that point.
So they were able to kill
so
that
they
all
were
off.
able to kill off a lot of time. It was incredibly frustrating.
I bet.
It's a great change for the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I remember when I started playing, there wasn't a shot clock, and I think it came in when I was in U16 or U19, and so there's been a lot of changes in the game, and you can see there even the difference from the video we saw earlier from 1979, where they were just wearing knee pads over top of their skinny pants, I think, whereas now in that 1985 shot, it looked like they had actual shin pads under actual Ringette pants. So
yeah, lots of changes to the equipment, and one of the biggest changes we're seeing right now is just in the technology of the sticks. It's changed from before, when it was sort of a fiberglass tip, and then adding the sort of the ribbing at the bottom to add a little bit more whip, and now the composite part of the stick, which really results in some fantastic shooting.
Yeah, you're really seeing the ability for them to use that upper body strength and really whip the ring on net, which is something we couldn't really do with those pieces of lumber that we used to play with. We've got one more commercial break coming up for you, and then we'll be back with the second half of this game between BC Thunder and Rocky Mountain Rage. Welcome everybody back, viewers on the All Women's Sports Network and CBC Sports. We are back in Leduc. We are almost ready for the second half, the third quarter to start for this Edmonton hub for the National Ringette League. If you are just tuning in, we are at halftime in a 2-1 game between Rocky Mountain Rage and BC Thunder. Rage is ahead 2-1 right now. It's been a hard-fought and tight-checking game.
For all those coaches out there who are wanting to show their teams, you know, the value of hard work and tenacity, you're seeing it on the ice between these two teams. And one thing in particular that I'm really noticing is how quick the back pressure comes from the offensive players in the neutral zone and the way they're clamping down on those rings. And it's making a huge difference in the turnovers. So something for coaches if you want to show it to some of their teams.
And a big thank you to our feature hub host, the Edmonton Wham. The Edmonton Wham, we are in Leduc for these games, but Edmonton Wham is hosting out here. We're just south of the city. And Edmonton is hosting this as part of Wood Tournament, which is an annual tournament. This is actually the 40th year for this tournament. It's been around for a long time, and there are teams in the U6, U14, U16, and U19 AA divisions as well as this National Ringette League hub. And that was the buzzer. We are waiting for the Zamboni gate to close, and then we will be kicking off the third quarter. So these teams play 4 quarters, 13 minutes each, and this is the third game of the weekend for these two teams. So they each played 2 games yesterday, and then this is their last game of this hub weekend. So these players gear up all year to play games in bunches. They don't get to just play on a Tuesday evening, because they're too far spread out. So it would be, and it's pay to play. These athletes do not make money. So we have to keep the costs down. So they group the games in these hub weekends that mimic a tournament, but there's no sort of gold medal game at the end of each weekend. They're all league games.
So I think Rage will start with the free pass here at center ice free pass. Off of a center ice free pass, teams, there are a couple of ways that a team can decide to defend it. Sometimes they go man on. A lot of teams go play a zone, sort of drop back in a zone below the blue line. And I think that's what we'll see from BC off of this free pass. But we'll see.
And sometimes they'll do even almost a bit of a hybrid where they'll start in that zone formation and then run a 2-on or try and trap once the ring comes out.
Yeah.
And different lines might do different things on their shift out there, so it's good to switch things up. Got a lot of good fans out at the rink today. Maya Alphin starts with the ring over to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is going to find Alphin over the line. Alphin gets around Chorney, looks to pass it off, finds Oda Florian in the corner. Oda Florian, originally from Ontario. I think this is our first season out in playing in Alberta. Lily Sauer got a hold of the ring, made a nice back pass to Clappy, but just couldn't handle it. Gustafson picks up the ring and does a back pass behind a support pass to Bouchard. And Bouchard makes a nice move around the checkers, but can't get the pass through Oda Florian. Clappy checks the ring from her, and that's a turnover for Rocky Mountain Rage. Madison Fitzpatrick is slowing things down as Rage gets a line change in. Leaves the ring for Pegan. I don't know how good the audio is, but there's a lot of cheering for all of the little victories down there at the bench for Rage. They're cheering each other on for every little thing, which is always nice to hear. Talisa Cowley had the ring going down the corner, and Gillespie comes out with the ring, gets it over the line to Parody. Parody finding Kira Hodge, originally from Calgary. Kira Hodge gets the ring down low. Parody fighting for it in front of the net, and it is picked up by Dylan Pegan. Pegan is going to get feet moving, try to beat Parody, who's keeping a close eye on her. And Parody just reached in a little too far and is going to get a hooking penalty. Pegan has the ring.
I was just about to say great containment by Parody, staying above the ring, I'm not going too far, and then she just kind of went for it at that last second.
And she's actually getting a slashing penalty. But yes, right up until that moment, she was doing a really great job of that containment there without taking a penalty, and then just a little bit too much reach as Pegan got a little bit of a step coming around the net and got Parody to get a stick in. So Rage will have a power play again in Ringette with the 3-on-3 inside that Ringette line, the line across the circles. It's still 3-on-3 even with one penalty, so it's not as much of an advantage once you're in the zone. It is an advantage on fast breaks in the neutral zone. Lily Sauer here with the ring coming across the top. Last year, Lily was playing for the University of Calgary Dinos, won the Western Canadian Ringette Championships with them. There's a couple players on this Rage team that won Westerns with that Calgary Dinos team. Cassie Valencourt with the ring, trying to see what's available. I'm going to leave the ring for Dylan Pegan. Pegan, one of many members on this team that won nationals last year at the 19AA level with the Zone 2 team. Talisa Cowley picks up the ring, 10 seconds on that shot clock. Gets a good little backhand off. Sometimes those reset shots are tricky. Danica Ewan has a long reach there. Looking for Sydney Crow in the neutral zone, but good defensive play there by Maya Althen. Finds Fitzpatrick in the neutral zone. Taking some time. Trying to find, I think that was Galandi in the corner, but couldn't quite handle it there, and Takasaki comes away with the ring. Leaves it for Kate Rogers-Horn. Rogers-Horn looking for that pass, just got caught from behind, and Tessa Galandi capitalizes on it with a really good finish. That's, I think, 3 for Galandi today.
That's 3 for Galandi today, yeah.
We're going to see. Yeah, you don't want to have any turnovers in Ringette, but if you do, you really don't want it to look up and have it be Tessa Galandi who's stolen the ring from you.
And definitely not today, because she is on.
She is. All right, so it's a 3-1 lead. And there is a 4-minute penalty up on the board for BC. So Kate Rogers-Horn did take a penalty at the end there on the goal-scoring play. So she is serving a 4-minute penalty. Danny Bouchard coming into the offensive zone, but it's stolen by Taylor Clappy. Clappy finds Valencourt. Valencourt hits Oda Florian in going into the offensive zone, and a good save there by McDonald.
I'm not sure, was that 4-minute penalty, was that a major penalty, or was it?
I think it was.
It was, okay.
Unless there were 2 penalties. I only saw her make the cross-checking signal, but
okay.
I could have missed that. So we'll find out what happens here, if there's any scoring plays, if she gets out of the box. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Chorney does get a shot through that Paige Roy handles easily, and Kennedy Rice is going to skate out with the ring. Kennedy Rice finds Talisa Cowley in the neutral zone. It's tripped up, but gets right back up. Looking for Klimke, but it's picked off by Robin Gillespie. Look for Gillespie to find a give and go situation here as she's way up the ice. But Chorney couldn't quite handle it. Bouchard gets it. No penalty on that. Looked like they were both trying to get to the play. Yeah, so we can confirm that was a 4-minute major penalty to Kate Rogers-Horn. So she won't get out of the box even if goals are scored. So that's always a tough play for your team. I think we had a crease violation here against Thunder, so we're going to have an offensive zone free pass for Galandi. And Tessa Galandi gets the ring over to Klimke. Galandi trying to cut in, but a good defensive play on the corner there by, I think, Ewan or Kemp. And Klimpke just gets a stick in there and trips up Danica Ewan. So we're going to have some 4-on-4. You can see she was going for the ring, but just got too much of Ewan's feet there. So some 4-on-4 play, meaning we're going to see one of the defensive players for BC stepping into the offensive zone here. Right now, that's Marissa Dick. Takasaki taking some time to see what can be set up. He's going to pass it to Crow, back down to the corner to Takasaki.
And sometimes with, depending on the compilation of the team and what type of offensive players you have on your team who are comfortable playing defense, you might see only 1 D out and then 3 offensive players, especially when BC is down by 2 goals. So I'm not sure if that's the way it's set up here, but there's a lot of versatile players on both of these teams. So.
And again, another good lesson to coaches and young players on why you might be asked to play different positions and learn different positions. It becomes a vital part of Ringette. Because again, it's not really a disadvantage to have a 5-on-4. So you want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of those opportunities. So BC doing a good job getting resets. And Paige Roy, again, is just solid in net there.
Yeah, she's just, you know, in between the posts, making the saves.
In the way, getting in the way of the ring. Isn't that her job? Danny Bouchard coming across the top with speed, finding Williams trailing. Williams can't handle it, trying to beat Alton to the ring. Alton with a good battle there. Bouchard does come out with it, and there's 5 seconds on the shot clock, so Bouchard's going to try and get a shot away. Misses the net, so Williams is going to try and put it right out there. And they're saying that the shot came in enough time and came out in front of the net, and so they're going to give the ring back to BC Thunder, saying they got the reset. It's always a tight turnaround for those shot clock operators who are trying to get the reset done and not do it too soon. Danny Bouchard over to Williams. Then we have Kemp setting up in front of the net. So it does look like BC is going with 2 defense and 2 forwards, or 2 defense and a center and a forward, rather than putting the extra forward out. And Kemp with a really good drive to the net and a good save. And they do recover the ring. So a good job by BC. There's about 20 seconds left in each of these penalties. So that penalty to Rogers Horn is almost over, as is the penalty to Klimpke. We are getting a cross-checking penalty now to Rocky Mountain Rage, Kennedy Rice.
So there's going to be 8 seconds of a 3-on-2, which is enough time to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and in this situation, you are seeing that BC, with only 4 players, they are putting out 2 forwards, a center, and 1 defense. So 2 seconds left. Oh, and a great play down low, and Crow just missed the net. So we are back to a 3-on-3 in the zone here. Takasaki across to Crow, who's just waiting to get that ring in, and Paige Roy is just patient as ever and keeps it out.
You can see from that last offensive attack how important it is for teams to be organized off of their offensive free passes, so they have that quick option and then quickly get set up so that they can actually mount some sort of an attack within that 8 seconds.
Yeah. So the BC's penalty is out, and obviously one of the penalties is out for Rocky Mountain Rage, and that shot went off the crossbar. Izzy Beach with the ring. There's a lot of talk on the ice, and we're trying to figure out what they're maybe saying. So Beach comes out, leaves the ring for Hannison. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Simser coming in, picks up that ring, 5 seconds on the shot clock. She was able to get a shot through, so that reset, and Emma Parody picks up the ring for BC. Finds Simser, looking for Simser on the post. Simser can't get the shot away, but does recover the ring. Now Fitzpatrick fell in the corner. Simser drove to the net, but was in the crease, and Roy was there to make that save anyway. And again, you see Roy coming out of the crease to buy her team an extra second before she goes back into the crease to make that throw. Pegan coming up through the middle here is the ring's going to go over both blue lines, so Rocky Mountain Rage can't touch it right away, but Gillespie's back to pick it up for BC anyway. Gillespie to Parody for Hannison in the corner. Again, these teams are prioritizing that control in the offensive zone over a fast breakaway pass that is usually a low percentage. Hannison leaves it for Bouchard. Bouchard looking to find a lane to the net. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Bouchard driving in, looking for that shot. Gets the reset, but there was a delayed shot clock, or a delayed crease violation against Rage. So the BC will get the ring back. We have 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Rocky Mountain Rage in white is up by a score of 3-1 against BC Thunder, wearing the navy blue. And Chorney will start with the ring. Get it to Williams. Williams cutting across the top, tried to get a shot away, and it was deflected by the defending team. Emma Dick coming out now for Rocky Mountain Rage. Trying to get it to Klimke, but it goes over both blue lines. Danica Ewan back to pick it up for BC. Leaving it for Danny Bouchard. Coming with speed. Bouchard is going to find Ewan again and is going to look for a return pass. She's going to find it with Williams along the boards. And they've drawn a penalty, so they're going to set it up. BC is going to set up the play with 4 in the zone. Oh, and a great tricky play there where Bouchard just batted the ring, and a good save by Roy, who was in the right spot positionally. And a good quick pass down to Williams, who isn't able to handle it, but
you can see how BC sort of set up on the 4-on-3 there with Bouchard in the slot, sort of tying up that weak side defense, which makes it really difficult. They're overloaded. They've got someone in the slot and they've got someone on the post, and sometimes their stick is sort of tangled up as well. So it's a big job for that D, but I thought she defended that quite well.
And we have a penalty coming to Rocky Mountain Rage. A slashing penalty. I think that's going to be to Talisa Cowley. So she'll be sitting for 2 minutes or less. We are 2 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Izzy Beach starting with the ring for BC. Oh, and she rips a shot. Faked that pass across and absolutely picked the top corner on Paige Roy.
Yeah, I think Roy got maybe a little bit distracted for a second with that, worried about that passing option, and sort of came off of her post a little bit, and it was a really nice shot. Like, she didn't, she really hit that corner.
Yep, those can be tough plays, so we'll see it from that low angle, but that fake pass across just froze enough, and when your team is dangerous with those one-timers, that's how you create other opportunities for yourselves, because the defense never knows what's going to happen. And here we're going to see a penalty for tripping. Going to Marissa Dick. Yeah, 2 minutes for a trip. So we saw that BC was able to capitalize immediately on their power play. We'll see Clappy here, see what Rocky Mountain Rage does. Across to Sauer, down low to Valencourt. A good job there, but Gustafson was in the crease, so we are going to have another do-over here for Rage.
And some nice movement off of that offensive free pass that created actually 2 different shooting opportunities.
Yeah. Clappy here is just going to make that sort of safe play over to Sauer. You can see Valencourt trying to cause some trouble in front of the net, moving around, whereas Clappy is coming in high, and that pass is made over to Valencourt, and she's able to slide it home.
That's a beautiful slip pass coming in from high in the triangle, which is a new offensive attack we're seeing more of lately. it makes it really difficult for the defense because it's hard to know which defense is responsible for taking her in the slot.
Yeah.
And it also gives sort of multiple shooting angles for that player who receives the ring. She can pick which side she wants to go to.
Yeah, so it puts a lot of pressure on the center who's pushing out on the ring carrier and whichever D is pushing out with them to really make sure they don't let that pass through. So that makes it 4-2. So BC capitalized quickly on their power play, and then Rage capitalized as well. And we're going to see Molly Chorney heading to the box now for a hooking penalty. So trading penalties back and forth right now. Just again, we might be seeing a little bit of fatigue for both of these teams. It's their third game and just getting their sticks in a little too much sometimes. Cowley's going to take the pass. Gets it to Galandi. Pegan following, and you can see Cowley's coming up high. Driving in for exactly that play. And Leah Wagner's going to get the ring, the defense on the line. Galandi with another great look and a really good save by McDonald. Trying to come out of the zone, and Cowley's able to win that ring, and a good low shot there by Pegan. But she was in the crease, and Sarah McDonald was there for that save as well.
Yeah, well done by McDonald. I mean, there's just nothing there on that short side when she gets on the post.
There, I'll say it again, but McDonald taking time getting back into the crease as the refs can't start the play until she's in there. Dylan Pegan with the steal. Going to take some time, see what our teammates are setting up. See Galandi coming in. Pegan leaves it for Galandi. Galandi trying to cut across, trying to make that play across to Cowley, but well disrupted there by Kemp. And Takasaki is going to come up, and a big high pass there to Izzy Beach, who couldn't handle it. It is picked up by Donauer, who makes a support pass across to Cowley. Cowley's going to find Pegan. I think Rage is going to look for that offensive zone line change, and they've got two of them off. Sauer now to Oda Florian. Oda Florian's shot blocked by Ewan. And Takasaki's going to come away with the ring. Going to find Kemp along the boards. Takasaki gets it again, and that is it for the third quarter. Again, engrossed in the play and missed it.
So we've got another hub coming up very soon, January 10th and 11th in Burlington, Ontario. It's hosted by the Cambridge Turbos. So an opportunity to see some of those Eastern Conference teams having some great competition.
I think we're going to see some replays now from the highlights from that third quarter. Lots of give and goes. Pegan coming in, and good save. Risky there for McDonald to move when you don't know where the ring is, but it works out. Galandi with that big finish there on the steal.
So sometimes in a Worlds year, you see players come back from Worlds, and sometimes they come back a little bit depleted. And it takes them a little while to get in the swing of things. And sometimes you see players come back and they are flying. And I think you can see that with Galandi right now, that she's, taken that competition and it's helped her up level, and she is going right now, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Worlds was only about 3 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago that these players returned home. So it's not a lot of turnaround to then get yourselves down from that sort of that peak that you're trying to reach as athletes to play at a tournament like that, and then to get yourselves pumped up again for your season, which is still pretty early on. And here we are, we're about to start the fourth quarter. Rage in white is winning 4-2 against BC Thunder in navy blue. There's still a penalty to BC for another 10 seconds. Danny Bouchard into Marissa Dick in the offensive zone. 10 seconds on that shot clock. That penalty is just about out for BC. Finding Bouchard in the corner with 5 on that shot clock. Gonna look to shoot. And the shot didn't get through, but
I think it just ended up under the skate of one of those Rage players, which will result in a stoppage of play.
Yeah, so if the player steps on the ring intentionally or unintentionally, it's usually not intentional because you can't skate when you're on the ring. But it does happen sometimes where it gets stuck under there, and that will get whistled down. So Crow gives it to Takasaki. He's going to skate around, and you'll see this formation a lot where one player sort of follows the ring carrier or crosses with them and is trying to set up for a low opportunity. And there, Paige Roy didn't know where the ring was. Crow hit the crossbar, great play, and Roy didn't know where it was, but it bounced out in front. So luckily the defense were on it, and no harm done. Takasaki now again with the ring at the top of the triangle. Leaves it for Izzy Beach. Beach loses it in her skates, and Galandi comes away with the ring. Galandi finding Wagner up the boards. Wagner looking for Klimke. Klimke just sort of overskated it. Wasn't sure where it was. Rogers Horn trying to get out of trouble, but runs into 2 on or 2.5, almost 3 on from Rage, who recovers the ring.
I think Rogers Horn did a great job there, though. Like, just kept up battling and didn't cough the ring up. Like, sometimes the best you can make out of that situation is a stoppage of play, a line change, and not having the ring spit out someplace dangerous.
Yeah, I like seeing some players when they get caught in traffic, they stop moving their feet because, I mean, it doesn't do them any good to move their feet, seemingly, because they don't get anywhere. But you don't draw penalties that way. Not that there was a penalty there, but keep those feet moving because you can maybe get away, or you can at least you're more likely to keep the ring for a stoppage. Valencourt there with a shot in front that got deflected, but McDonald comes up with it for BC. Gustafson leaves the ring there for Gillespie. Watch to see if Gillespie can get the wheels going for that give and go up the ice. Looking for it, and yeah, there's Gillespie on the far side. He's going to do the defense drop and find Simser, who gets the shot away, and saved by Roy, who gets the ring up. I think that was Emma Dick there, getting the ring up in the zone. And Klimke's going to skate a little bit, find Pegan in the corner. Pegan comes across the top, looking for Galandi on that far side in the low post. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Galandi trying to attack the triangle, and a good defensive play by Grace Kemp. Chorney at the top. Chorney fires it, but Paige Roy is right at the top of her crease there and is up to it. Bouchard gets it back, and a good quick backhand shot there that Roy handles.
BC Thunder's looking really hungry right now. You can tell they're really pushing for that next goal and having some nice sustained pressure against Rage right now.
Yeah, and that was a really good play by Madison Fitzpatrick to keep her feet moving. Cassandra, or maybe that was Clappy. Anyway, Clappy has the ring now, is cycling around. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Clappy with a really nice back pass to Kennedy Rice stepping into the offensive zone. Kennedy spent a long time playing forward, so she's very comfortable in that offensive zone. BC with that goalie ring. Marissa Dick coming up with the ring. Really good speed through the neutral zone there, finds Crow. Crow is going to circle back, probably waiting for Takasaki to get open, which she does. Takasaki coming in across, makes a good move, but is checked by some combination of Rage defense. Pegan fighting for that ring against Gustafson. Clappy trying to get it. Oh boy, body's flying. That ring gets bouncing, everybody's trying to get it, and your heads are often down, so it can be risky. But Pegan has the ring now, 10 seconds on the shot clock for Rage. We have 8.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, which is the last quarter of the game. Klimke has the ring to Cowley, back to Klimke. Down to the corner to Cowley, can't handle it, picks it up.
So it'll be interesting to see when BC decides to start pressuring and to push for that extra goal, to push for a little bit more possession. With the shot clock, you can have a little bit more patience, but sometimes what I like to tell the defense to do is when you're down by a couple, use the shot clock to your advantage. Really be ready to jump on those rebounds as opportunities to convert possession. You can always retreat if it doesn't look like it's going to pan out.
Yeah, so making sure you are going for those 50-50 rings, but if the 50-50 becomes now a 40-60 against, then you make sure that you keep that body position, that goal side inside position. So Lily Sauer to Taylor Clappy. Clappy comes around. Is slowed down by the BC defense. That's a good play by Hannison and Ewan. Parody up to Kira Hodge, slowing things down, looking for teammates, and making an offensive zone line change.
And you can see McDonald is coming out of the net now. So what they're going to do is they're not putting an extra player. They're just putting an extra player in the offensive zone. And then as soon as one of those players hops over the ringette line, then she can zip back into her net.
So and a good try there by Kemp.
You can see her heading back to the net now.
Grace Kemp has her pocket picked by Dylan Pegan. Galandi now in the corner. You'll see there are still 7 minutes left in this game. But I mean, the more time you can spend with that advantage, the better. And a good check on the line there by Haley Takasaki. And a good play there, a give and go by Parody and Takasaki. Grace Kemp did get a shot away there. BC's going to wait for that line change. BC has McDonald on the bench again.
So there's different terms for this type of goalie pull. Some people call it shuttle. Some people call it yo-yo.
I've heard it called bounce.
Bounce, exactly. So the idea is the goalie kind of going back and forth, but it can result sometimes in some scoring opportunities.
I think Galandi's laughing at herself for missing the net there on that open the open net there. So McDonald's on the bench again. So as soon as those feet are on the bench for that goalie, they can put the fourth skater in the offensive zone, whether they put an extra player on the ice overall or not. So that can be a good play because, again, you save the time. If you put the player on the ice, then you have to wait till that player gets off the ice before your goalie can go on, whereas now it's just coming out of the zone.
Basically, it's a more conservative way of pulling your goalie. So teams will do it sometimes when you're chasing a game a little bit with a little bit more time on the clock where you don't want to have the risk factor.
You have to have really good communication as well on those because you can get actually an offensive zone delay of game penalty for 4 in if you are forechecking with 4 in the zone and your goalie's still on the ice. So it takes good communication. Later in the game, I think we might see them put the extra skater out so that they can have a little more checking power. But for now, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bouchard up to Chorney. Chorney looking for, I think that's Williams on that post, and a good save by Paige Roy. The ring was just still in the crease when Williams played that ring. You saw Gillespie jump out of the zone so that McDonald can go back on the ice. And a good play there. I think that might be Kennedy Rice getting the ring out of the zone. It is, but it is picked off by Gillespie in the neutral zone. Gillespie finding Bouchard on the far side of the ice. Bouchard coming in looking for a play and a really good stop there by Paige Roy. And a good reset and a good ring retrieval there by Chorney. Or Williams, I apologize. That was Williams. Williams down low. Back up there. Looking for Chorney on the low post. Chorney founds on it but is able to retrieve the ring. Makes a couple of fakes there but does have a crease violation. And Rage breaking out of the zone. Here we have Amy Donauer up to Lily Sauer. Sauer is going to look for Valencourt deep in the zone. And Valencourt did win that race, but couldn't quite maintain control. And Oda Florian is there. A little bit of a battle behind the net there as they were tangled up.
I liked that non-call by the ref because they were both sort of involved, and
I agree.
They let them fight it out. And
yeah, I agree. There was no real advantage gained either, which also helps when deciding on a call or not. So again, we have deep in the zone Valencourt after it, and a good stop and start by Marissa Dick to find some open space. So again, we have 3 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the game, and it is a 4-2 lead for Rocky Mountain Rage in white. So BC Thunder in navy blue here is looking to get a couple of goals to tie.
I think with Rage a little bit here, there might be some opportunities sometimes when they're transitioning to look for that possession pass. And maybe it's just a little bit of that youth showing with some of the players. They have more time than they realize, and it's important to gain the zone and keep it down in that end so that you don't have things like penalties or offensive free passes.
Yeah, so we have a penalty here to Amy Donhauer for tripping. So just got stick tangled up trying to fight for that ring. And I agree, I think there's a lot of, with all the youth on this team, and they're really excited. They haven't won a lot of games this year. They've been in a lot of games, but don't have a lot of wins. And so, you know, you start to get excited. The core of that team does have a lot of players who have won big championships, though, so that should help them in this preparation. I mean, what a finish there. Not much that Paige Roy can do. That was a great pass and a great finish there by Izzy Beach.
Absolutely, and even for the defense, I mean, she can't go out that far, so that's just execution, and it's a great goal.
Yeah, because you can see Marissa Dick is in front of the net, and so that Rage defender has to stay with her as well, and then when the pass comes across, you know, it's a rock in a hard place. And that's what you're trying to do offensively, is you're always trying to create these
so
sort of
BC
two-on-ones.
is going man on here to try to put that extra pressure on. Oh, well done. That's a nice pickup.
Yeah, good job by Valencourt. I was a little surprised there wasn't a timeout called by one of the teams, but I expect we will see them use that at some point. Gillespie with the ring, support pass to Takasaki. Takasaki is looking for Hannison over the line, finds her. Clappy can't keep track. Sydney Crow into the offensive zone. And again, McDonald to the bench. They are going to put that fourth skater in the offensive zone without putting an extra player on the ice. Danny Bouchard now over to Crow. Crow with a shot from distance. Did get the reset, but I don't think it actually did hit the net. So I think
good job, good tenacity by that player.
Yeah, good job keeping her feet moving from Leah Wagner there. And another attempt at that open net. So I don't know, how do you feel about going for that open net there, Alexis?
Well, I know it's tempting. I think at this stage of the game, I'd like to see a possession pass over that line.
Yeah, I agree. And but the tenacity there from Rage did draw a penalty against Robin Gillespie. So Robin Gillespie is going to go off here. There's 2:09 left. A 2-minute penalty for tripping. And it's a 4-3 lead. So with 2 minutes, 9 seconds left, here's a timeout that I expected. Although ask me which team later. I mean, what do you think we're going to see here from Rage?
I think, from Rage, I think we're going to see hopefully an offensive setup where they're going to have multiple passing options, and especially even a defense popping back to be available so they can swing it back a zone. I think probably Thunder is talking through the way that they're going to pressure, how they're going to pressure, and perhaps maybe looking at what the next goalie pull might look like, whether it's going to be a bounce or whether it's going to be what I would call like a full pull. Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of teams just bounce the whole time, which I don't get. Sometimes you're at a point in the game where
I'm on the same page as you.
Need a goal. And so it's like
having that extra checker in the neutral zone is actually more helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen them go for a couple of empty netters, and I think Marla Wheeler got an empty netter yesterday.
Yes.
I can't remember which game it was.
It was from a defensive free
pass. All
pass.
the way down there, which was unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But you don't see as many empty netters in Ringette as people who are used to watching hockey might see. So to me, I always think there's more benefit having the extra forechecker on the ice. But
so
again, I'm not in charge. Cowley does find that pass to the defense, as Alexis indicated. Didn't go back out of the zone or anything, which it can and is still a good plan. Little miscommunication there. I think Cowley jumped in while Fitzpatrick was still in there, so there's a 4 in the zone call. So BC is going to get a center ice free pass with 1:58 left here in the fourth quarter. BC is down by a goal. So we've got Hannison and Bouchard out here. Takasaki and Chorny. So we don't have any defenders out here right now. We've got forwards and centers. So you can see exactly what the plan is here. So BC did pull their goalie, and they have not put a 5th skater on the ice. So all 4 of these players who are forwards or centers are out on the ice. So I have a feeling that a couple of them are sent out there to play defense if the ring comes back. So 3 seconds left on that shot clock. And a goal from Bouchard from distance. I mean, a good hard shot on the ice. That's of all the great saves that Paige Roy has made, you know, I don't know that she had a great sight line on that.
Yeah, I think she just wasn't expecting the shot to be taken from that that placement on the ice, you know, with a 4-on-3. Like, it's not normally the shot people are looking for, but sometimes just a surprise shot can work out well.
It's amazing actually how often those shots that you know are just for a reset can go in, because they're from different angles than teams are usually used to seeing them from. So tie game now with 1:16 left. So if this game stays in a tie, in these regular season hub games, there's no overtime. They'll go straight to a shootout. And whereas when they get to nationals, if it's still tied, they would have an overtime period before they would go to a shootout. We have 1 minute left now in the fourth quarter. Valencourt with the ring in the neutral zone finds Lily Sauer on the far boards. Lily Sauer is going to take a bit of time, wait for the line change to finish and go off. Keegan is on there, again, also waiting.
And getting Galandi out there, not a surprise with the game she's had.
And again, we still have, we do have a couple of forwards on the ice, or a defense on the ice now for BC. That makes sense. Oh, and a bit of miscommunication there as McDonald came out of the net. But BC looks like they're going to keep the ring. 23 seconds left in a tie game. Marissa Dick behind the net. Putting that ring up for Molly Chorny. Chorny leaves it for Kemp. Kemp is going to find Marissa Dick on the far side. There's 10 seconds left. And a big save there from Paige Roy. And Chorny looking for that rebound. The ring was still in the crease, though. So we've got 5.9 seconds. I think Roy is going to hold on to it for no, okay. All right, so we're going to be going to a shootout. And so the way this is going to work is each team is going to have 3 shooters. If you are an NHL fan, this is how it works in the NHL as well. Each team will have 3 shooters, and they'll all get to shoot unless, you know, one team scores 3 and the other gets none. But they will all shoot, and then if one team has more goals at the end than the other, then they'll win. And if it's still tied, then it'll be a 1-on-1, so each opportunity to win. So it'll be interesting now to see who some of the shooters are.
And I think you can repeat shooters.
After the first 3?
After the first 3.
Okay.
I think you can repeat shooters, or you can draw from people on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
I think.
And I think Gillespie did finish the game in the penalty box, but I think she is eligible. I had to bring that up, right, and test our knowledge.
I don't know the answer to that one, Bronwyn.
Sorry. We'll find out. Gillespie's a defense, so it's hard to know if she would normally be picked for a shootout anyway, but I think to nobody's surprise, we see Tessa Galandi out here looking like she's the first shooter for Rage.
So this is the second shootout of the weekend for BC Thunder.
Yeah, BC lost to Wham last night in a shootout. Just making sure the officials are ready to go with their lineups for the shootout. And as we said before, these teams are preparing. They'll be going to nationals, which will be in Ottawa, March 29th to April 4th. So you'll see as well that some of the moves that players in Ringette are allowed to make if they're on a breakaway are a little bit different than some of the rules that are allowed in a shootout. the ring does have to keep a forward motion. So some of those back passes, those sneaky things that those players can do, they're not allowed to bring out in this. So Galandi in with a great fake and beats McDonald low to the stick side. So great finish by Galandi.
And, you know, it's an old move, but it's a good one. There's nothing wrong with the forehand, backhand, especially when you
That's
sell
my
it.
only move.
My only move is forehand, forehand.
All right, and I think also we're not surprised to see Izzy Beach out here as the first shooter for BC. And a good fake, a couple of good fakes, but Paige Roy is able to stay with it, patient and strong with the movement, and stops Beach.
Yeah, she's just tracking really well. Little movements with little movements.
And not overcommitting. It's one of the struggles they can have. So this looks like Cassie Valencourt coming in. She's going to make a good forehand move, drag it across. Had McDonald down, but isn't able to get it into the net over her. So a good move and some good patience there from McDonald to really stretch out.
Even when McDonald is down on the ice, flat on the ice, she still covers a lot of the
She
net,
does.
especially because she has this athletic style, and she'll battle.
Yeah, and she also, when she comes across, she manages to not be deep in her net all the time, which then still cuts down on that angle. Takasaki coming in and a good forehand, backhand move, and another big patient stop there from Paige Roy. I think we're seeing a lot of composure from a young goalie down there.
Absolutely. So this one, if Rage scores, then this game is over.
Yeah, so Taylor Clappy is the shooter for Rage, and she has a chance to win it here. Clappy taking that wide angle, coming in, moving McDonald across, but hits the post. So again, they still have a chance to win here. Chorney needs to score to force another round, and a save from Roy would be a win for Rage. It's one of the only times in Ringette that you will see a player skate over the blue line with the ring and not get a whistle. Chorney also coming wide and finds a 5-hole on Roy. So again, they had the first two shooters didn't have any luck with some good fakes. So Chorney comes in and just gets Roy to move a little bit and then sneaks it 5-hole. A good wily play by a veteran.
All right, so
and as Alexis said, we can have repeat shooters. So we're seeing Galandi again. Is she going to do the same move? Coming in wide. And similar move, but one less fake and just beat her with the reach and a quick release. And we're going to see Danny Bouchard now for BC. Another veteran NRL player here.
What kind of move do you think we'll see, Bronwyn?
I think a shot, but what do I know? And tried to go backhand and couldn't beat Paige Roy.
I think that's it. That's
it.
the game.
So am I going to go down? All right. So Alexis is going to talk you through a few game highlights now.
You know what? That's a really big win for the Rage. BC is a top team in the West right now. Rage is an up-and-comer, and they worked really hard this game. They should be feeling great about that. I mean, no shade on Thunder. They also played a solid game, and that pushback at the end, you could see the composure from the veterans. There wasn't panic in their game, and they did a great job in tying it up, and then gave the fans a treat in that we were able to see an extended shootout. So final score for this game, 5-4 shootout win. So that means that BC will still pick up a point for the shootout loss. And those points do matter when it comes to dealing with the standings for CRCs, which really does affect which pool you end up in. There's a different pathway for the teams depending on what pool you're in. Okay, you're going to look at a few replays here. So you see Dylan Piggin coming in with some nice speed. McDonald just really out high and strong. Oh, some chit chat there. Galandi coming in, buried. That was one of her 3 goals, plus her 2 shootout goals. So quite a performance from Galandi. All right, we're going to head to an interview with Dylan Piggin.
All right, I'm down at ice level here with Dylan Piggin following Rocky Mountain Rage's 2nd win of the year. How exciting!
I mean, it's pretty exciting. It's exciting to see our hard work this season come together. It's been a big building year for a lot of us coming from U19 and university, so we put a lot of hard work in, and it's just nice to finally get the 2nd win.
Yeah, so it was a really competitive game. Going back and forth, it looked like you were having a lot of tenacity. Was that one of your goals for this game, was to really stay on them?
Yeah, I feel like one of our biggest things that we've been working on is consistency throughout the whole game. I feel like that's something that we've struggled with, is not fully playing the whole game. We've won 3 quarters in games, 2 quarters, but in NRL it's not enough, and that's a big jump from U19, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've seen a lot of growth already this weekend in your games. So how did your team feels like you're going in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It feels nice to finally get a win. Again, our record doesn't reflect our play of how we've been playing and how we've entered the NRL. But yeah, it feels nice to finally pull the win out. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay, so final score for this second last game of the Hub weekend was 5-4 for Rage in a shootout win over BC Thunder. I thought we saw some really great goaltending in the shootout, as well as during the whole game, which isn't a surprise given the caliber of goalies that we're seeing on both teams, and did a great job against some excellent shooters. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on ASWN and CBC. We hope that you tune in later on today, 2 p.m., when the Edmonton Wham takes on the Saskatchewan Heat. Thank you and good afternoon.